All right, YouTube, it's time for Occult Literature video number 13 on William Dower's Occultism for Beginners. Now, first and foremost, this is a theosophical work. It's not a work like many of the others that go into summoning demons, herbal medicine, and so forth. It really ruminates more on science in the modern sense, semi-modern, of course. It's early 1900s anyway. It's still a century old. But link in the description to where you can purchase this work, my edition of the same, on Amazon. Link in the description as well to my books blog. There are many other things available there, alchemy, grimoires, you name it, it's all there in various forms. You might have to dig back through the post until maintenance is done. Anyway, William Dowers' work focuses on three things explicitly that I thought were interesting. The structure of the cell, sort of biology, and its occult meaning. Its categorizations according to more traditional occultism. The use of the pituitary and pineal glands. It also has one of the earliest mentions of the calcification of the pineal gland of any work that I've ever been able to find. It also proves, because this predates fluoridation by almost 30 years, proves the calcification of the pineal gland was known long before fluoride was interjected into the average person's diet in the form of fluoridated water. So New Agers, beware, you may not appreciate this work when you look at the date on it. And then, of course, the treatise on radiation, which was the most interesting to me, literally the occult meaning of it. Now, if you know anything about, like, the Fallout franchise, which I'm a fan of, Fallout 3, what is there? There's the Church of Adam. People refer quite literally to being divided by atomic energy and purified by its glow and so forth. It was kind of spooky because it was around the time I actually encountered Fallout that I also encountered this booklet. I thought that was very funny. There are a few fairly spare illustrations. I scanned them out of the original in order to be more original with it. I didn't want to redo them by hand at the time. Any of the online variants were extremely low quality, so it wasn't worth using them. So they're scanned in. Otherwise, it's not a facsimile copy, although there is a facsimile as well available on Amazon. Dowers' work, though, is theosophical. So if you're looking for summoning angels and demons, sort of the older wave of occultism, you're not going to find it here. But there's an overlap. Here's something that needs to be said. Like many alchemical works, especially from the Enlightenment and before into the Renaissance, what they're dealing with is natural science. They're simply claiming things within natural science, like within alchemy, that we now know actually can't occur, for instance, transmutation. Using the processes they had at their disposal, you can't actually transmute lead or tin or something into gold. We now know that. But it was still considered part of what they understood to be science at the time, natural science. They understood the basic concept of the atom even. That goes back to ancient Greece. Several works that I've read, including Philaethelus' work, explicitly mentions atoms. I believe Basil Valentine also mentions the same concept of molecules and so forth. They actually understood this hundreds of years ago. But they were looking at science, and they were giving it an occult meaning. That's exactly what Dower does. 100 years ago, he decided that what was then modern cell biology and the study of radioactivity and so forth should be quantified in a spiritual sense. It's exactly the same. And for that purpose, and perhaps for that purpose only, this is as much an authentic occult work as anything you would find from the Renaissance. I think sometimes people forget that because we're quite a bit closer. We're only a century removed from sort of the theosophical period, but we're many centuries removed from the Renaissance and like 3 centuries removed from the Enlightenment. And so people look back, and I think the further back that they look, the more authentic that they think it is, even if the principles are the same. So Dowers' work comes highly recommended. As far as I'm concerned, I am a fan of Dowers' work. This is actually one of my favorite booklets that I obtained over time in bulk lots off eBay that I have physical copies of. It's one of my favorites. It's also one of the older works. I'm partial to it for various reasons, not least of which is Fallout related, let's face it. But it's still an interesting work, and it's still definitely worth studying. Again, link in the description to where you can obtain this work. Second link for my books blog. That's about all. Peace out.